All right. Hey, good morning. This is Henry Kramer, 605 Chaser. Welcome to the show. We do have a few things that are happening here. We're expecting slight risk for severe weather over along the northeast coastline. Let's take a look at some timing for that, and then we'll get to North Dakota and Kansas, which is going to be under the gun for some tornado possibilities here today. 1 o'clock, Providence. It looks like we've got some storm cells that are expected to be moving through that area around 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And then as we get into the afternoon, Hartford, Connecticut area, and then moving along over into New York. Not anything expected to be tornado activity like, but we could have gusty winds at times. We could have 60 to 70-mile-an-hour winds out of some of these systems that are here. This over here by Scranton, that is the marginal risk. And the marginal risk actually goes, this darker shade of green goes all the way over into Kansas City. Now, this was updated at 1 o'clock this morning. I'm waiting for the SPC to give a new convective outlook sometime within the next 5-10 minutes. So stick around. This could end up getting interesting because here's my thought. Kansas City is likely going to be in a bullseye for significant storms. I don't know why they have a marginal risk, but I don't work for the Storm Prediction Center. Not my job to try to figure that out. So here's where, as of 1 a.m. this morning, this is where the slight risk is. And let's take a look at North Dakota because if I were to chase, would I go to North Dakota? Let's find out. This is a look at the NAM 3K weather model. Doesn't look real spicy until you get into the later part of the day. Even into like 7 p.m. up by Winkler, like the Canadian North Dakota border, Devil's Lake area, maybe 7 p.m. There could be a possibility of some big time wind event there as well. But I don't see anything other than that. It's really pretty small. So, in my opinion, I'm not sure why they have that. I know why they got the slight risk, but I'm not sure exactly why they got the tornado risk there. Tornado risk, in my opinion, this tornado risk is much more likely down here in Kansas than it is in North Dakota. They got a much wider array, a wider area of North Dakota. So let's take a look at significant tornado parameters. I'm going to look at some other numbers as well. And this is a look at 1 p.m. It does show that there's quite a broad area of significant tornado parameter numbers to where there could be that potential. Devil's Lake area around 1 p.m. That's a possibility. We'll have to look at the other weather models and see what they think. But once it gets to the evening hours, that tornado probability is really going to go out of the way. It's going to become more of a wind event right here. You could kind of see that pushing through at 8 o'clock. Back that up a little bit here. Let's take a look at the max updraft helicity, see if those numbers match anything that supports an overlay of those. Be 1 second here. Yeah, I really think the only spot that we're going to be seeing uh, any type of tornadic activity, this is just my thought, would be if I were to chase, this would be the area that I would go. I wouldn't bother with all this down here, but um, things could change, definitely. Let's take a look at some other parameters here. EHI supports it. And again, it looks to be late. Maybe 7 p.m. Let's take a look at the HER model and see what that says. I know I'm spending a lot of time on North Dakota waiting for the Storm Prediction Center to get a new update here. So let's take a look here. The HER model, let's see if the HER model is suggesting, yeah, this again, the HER model is putting it super late by the time things get ramped up. Let's take a look at satellite and see why that might be. We're going to take a look at the satellite loop here, geocolor. That would explain why. We've got some storm convection trying to already get going, and here's the thought. These clouds are going to hinder this 2%, and it's going to be very difficult for any tornado type activity to really ramp up. And unless this cloud cover can dissipate and we can get some more clearing. Let's take a look at areas of Kansas. They've got a lot of cloud cover going there, but they've already got this convection going down here. Let's take a look at the water vapor. Plenty of moisture down there, a lot of water, and even up by Minot, there's some, but again, I think this is going to probably be where we have that. Take a look at radar. It's going to give us a better idea here. Here's another reason that I think that is the case is there's more wind shear possibilities here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the um, RRFS model here. As we look at the Kansas area, we can kind of see the storm evolution. And then by the time we get to 7 p.m., I apologize, this is 6 p.m., we start seeing some storms ramp up over here. Let's take a look at the HER model on this one. Again, it doesn't look to ramp up based on the models until way late in North Dakota. Look at the photographs here. Nothing there. What about this right here? Nope, not anything huge. I think we see it right here, maybe. There we've got a marginal tornado possible based on just these numbers. And this would be the surface-based cape would end up being over 3,000. The LCL shear would end up being 46. Effective shear would be 25. BRN shear is 38. So that's pretty good. But again, the time of this would be late. It'd be 20Z. I guess that isn't too late. That would be 3 p.m. as it suggests on the HER model. Going to have some severe weather there by Bismarck area. By the time you get into the overnight hours, you're still looking at pretty intense storms there. Let's go back to our radar omega and take a look at some of the other information here. We do show that there's still a low chance for tropical development down into areas of Texas, the coastline there by Corpus Christi, all the way up over to areas of Lafayette, Galveston area. Let's take a look at our risks for flash flooding. For today, we do have that continued risk for areas of Kansas. Moderate risk of excessive rainfall. We're talking uh, 1.5. Oh, we could even see 2 to 4 inch rainfall totals along the isolated area. Now, where is there's got to be 1 to 3 inch rainfall rates per hour. And we're definitely going to see more than that here in this Topeka area. This is a concern for the flash flooding all the way over into Bloomington, Illinois, Springfield, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Up here, not too significant, still a slight risk, or a marginal risk, I should say, but the slight risk is in the yellow, the moderate risk is in the red. Let's take a look at the next day here. Looks like they may have updated the SPC outlook. Nope, not yet. They have not updated day one yet. All right. Let's take a look at tomorrow's risk for excessive rainfall here. We finally slow it down a little bit. It looks like marginal risks for excessive rainfall for those two zones. And as we go to day 3, we start seeing more of a risk for areas of northern part of Minnesota, up by the Duluth, Grand Rapids, Bemidji area. Um, and then over to areas of New Mexico, that marginal risk for excessive rainfall, all over to the east coast line there for marginal as well. Let's take a look at the risks that we have for the future here. As we go into tomorrow, we continue to see that possibility for storms to ramp up over in western part of South Dakota and into North Dakota. If we show the NAM3K, we'll be able to kind of get a better idea of that. We'll even see areas of Chicago having some impacts for tomorrow storms. Let's go ahead and move this along a little bit. So this is a look at around midnight time frame, between midnight and 3 a.m. As you can see, Kansas City area getting pounded with all kinds of rain there. And then areas up into extreme northern part of South Dakota, getting kind of the wind right here. And Chicago, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then getting pounded Chicago for your evening hours as well for tomorrow night. And there's some more storms likely over into south of North Platte as you get into tomorrow night after 10. These storms, again, are going to be initiating pretty late in the day. And then we go through to 1 p.m. on the 27th. Not looking too shabby. I mean, the main concern is that flooding that's in the Kansas City area for today. And then the tornado threat is there as well. Trying to see if they have updated anything here. They haven't updated the SVC Outlook while we're on our live, so what I'll do is I'll make a separate video or a separate update to let you know what we're expecting for there. That is the latest information that we have from the 605 Chaser Studios. You guys have a great rest of your day.